Welcome back to the HR Good Things Report. This is episode 2, where we take a deep dive into some of the projects and great initiatives that some of your colleagues have been doing around the college. Today we take a look at the Beyond Beautiful project as well as Flip the Classroom.
So last year in August, we were sent to do a permaculture course at Wasamaki Ecosystems. And from that, we learned a lot about natural ecosystems and pollinator gardens. We started a project called Beyond Beautiful, where we are trying to create pollinator gardens across the car park at the Chabonas campus. We want to enhance our environment. We want to try to encourage some pollinators, bees, birds, butterflies to visit our campus and try to make a better natural ecosystem here.
Let's begin with what it is like to pass by and see something beautiful every day. And I think in terms of mental health, it does a lot for mental health. So far, we've had quite a few staff members that say, looking good, guys, it's really beautiful. And we're hoping that it inspires some measure of positivity, because as you enter into the campus, you can see that. On the other side, we have the aspect where COSTAATT is demonstrating that it is practically contributing towards sustainability. And this is one way in which we can demonstrate that we are contributing to environmental sustainability through encouraging biodiversity on the campus.
One of the things that we would have done was to choose the appropriate plants. So we wanted to make sure it looks really good, as well as it encourages us as much pollinators as possible. So we chose our plants.
And cost effective.
Yeah, definitely cost effective as well, because they would need to be replaced regularly depending on their lifespan.
So we dug a trench around, we put down a weed barrier, we put the plants in, cover them in mulch. They are each planted in a hole with peat moss in it.
Yeah, peat moss.
And now what we need to do is monitor for weeds, and plants were particularly planted very close so that we could have a spread as wide as possible, as quickly as possible, to outcompete weeds.
One of the major plants that we would have used were the lantanas, which are at the center, the yellow flowers at the center, and those are great for pollinators and they spread a lot. So we're hoping in the upcoming months that we really have a beautiful plot, and we're seeing some more butterflies and maybe some hummingbirds as well.
And to hopefully inspire staff, because here's what we're planning on doing: the entire car park, right? We need lots of hands, lots going on in the future. So if we can make this work, we're hoping to be able to do much more
to extend across the car park.
Yeah. So when you come in here, it's like a little oasis. That's what we hope to achieve. Yeah. Beyond Beautiful.
Classroom is like the opposite of the traditional classroom. So in the traditional classroom, you tend to have your live in-person classes where the students are now learning about the topic and you go through your lectures, and then they go home and do self-work where they're completing their assignments or extra studies. However, in the flipped classroom, or the flipped classroom I should say, it's the opposite around, where new information is given prior to the live sessions, so the students can engage in self-paced learning. In the past, especially as in Caribbean communities, we tend to follow the traditional routes of going to live lectures and, completing self-study on your own. Me, being a student in the past as well, I used to not appreciate live lectures. I don't know if I should say that, but I was one who was better at self-paced learning, and then I would go to tutorials outside those lectures, and there you'll get a deeper understanding of the topic. However, stemming from the pandemic, we always used to do some form of blended learning in terms of using the e-classroom along with face-to-face classes, but not in the necessary way of a flipped classroom. From lecturers, they have said that it has worked, that they have seen an improvement in grades in the courses they mainly teach. In my courses, I teach research-based courses mainly, and I found that there was a great improvement. For example, before, senior thesis students will struggle, you know, in completing their research paper, whether it was just strictly the traditional way or asynchronous only. And now that they have an opportunity to learn the material on their own, and then we meet in live sessions to how to now go about writing and developing each section of the paper, they have performed better over the last 2 years.